Would you believe it? The Scottish hero Caroline Weir comes to save the day in the final kick. Well, potentially the whole game. Paris FC was so close to clinching their first 3 points of the competition, but Caroline Weir came to save the day, getting 1 point for Real Madrid and 1 point for Paris FC. But everybody, the final whistles have gone, but we're only just getting started. The post-game show is next. We've got player interviews, highlights and analysis. You do not want to miss it. Stay with us. All of that and more after this short one. On this match day 3, star strikers Ada Hegerberg, Sam Kerr and the Stanford Cardinal, Caterina Macario, all scored a braces. OK, so Lyon, they stayed perfect and Real Madrid rescued a point in dramatic fashion. As always, so much to talk about. Jen, Ali, Kelly. Girls, where do we start? I suggest we start with this Lyon-Wolfsburg game because Lyon are at the top of the table, the only team who have won 3 in a row so far in this match day 3. They were incredible today, weren't they?
They were. It didn't feel like two giants.
No.
Can we say that?
That was our whole... Can we walk it back?
Yeah, let's start with the formation.
I just couldn't believe, Ali, you're spot on. I couldn't actually believe that Wolfsburg set up in a back 5. For me, did that feel a little bit like the manager had a lack of trust in the players? I thought that was pretty poor, actually, for them to set up in that way and to not take the game to Lyon. They showed ultimate respect for Lyon.
What did you think, Kelly?
Agreed. I think I was, we talked about it in the pre-show about how I thought that Pop and Berenstein were going to try to cut off Lyon 6, which they did. They didn't do as much pivoting. I would have loved Lyon to go spread their center backs a little bit wider, and I think they would have been more effective in the run of play. I think what I'm surprised about is even though Wolfsburg was able to keep them off, out of the ball out of the back of the net in the run of play in the first half, but they got scored on set pieces. So it's like, I actually don't fault the manager for putting together, okay, we're going to play a 5-3-2. We're going to make them go around. We're going to try not to let them go through, even though Lyon, being the team that they are, was actually effective getting through the lines. But to then get scored on in set pieces, that's where you're going to give up your goals.
Or even give away free kicks in those areas.
Right,
though. If you're playing up against a team with Wendy Renard, Ada Hegerberg, who are the best aerial threats in the European game. Right, deliveries is exactly so. Yeah, I completely agree. To concede in that way, but then also to give away free kicks in really dangerous areas, it wasn't great from Wolfsburg, and Lyon stepped up. They got a great result. They're really front runners in this competition so far, I would say, along with other. And
you also mentioned in the pre-match as well that we can see Lyon went out and got players, Wolfsburg let go of players, and we really saw how, look, Lyon are going that way, Wolfsburg were going that way in this game. Don't you agree, Ali?
Yeah, and it was so important in this game for Wolfsburg to assert themselves because, let's be honest, Bayern München has had a grasp on the Frauen-Bundesliga now for 3 years. So if they wanted to be looked at as a giant of Europe, it would be in this competition. And so what you're saying about, okay, setting up with the back 5, but that's if you're going for a tie, or that's not the approach that I thought that they would have. Could it have been smart if a tie would be enough to stay in the kind of top tier? But I just still am very shocked that was the way that they decided to start the game. And it just meant they had so little possession, and it would have been very, very hard to score a goal until I do think they adjusted, started to be more aggressive in the second half, and then got a goal from it. But I'm still pretty flabbergasted, to be honest.
Yeah, one name we've mentioned a couple of times is Ada Hegerberg. So let's get into the highlights. We're going to be seeing plenty of her. She got a brace tonight for Lyon. We're going to be taking a look at some of her goals, which she was able to get in the 25th minute, very early on into the game, which didn't really surprise us. Looking now at the highlights, this game happened in France. Lyon were home. It was hard for Wolfsburg to come in here and maybe get a result. They were hoping to, obviously, but Hegerberg kind of pushed their hopes.
Yeah, starting the 25th minute, Ada Hegerberg showed the type of player that she is. This is a superb forwards goal, right? Lindsay Heath takes an incredible free kick. It bounces off the crossbar, and she's able to have the instincts to follow it up and put it in. And then again, she comes around, again, a set piece. Wolfsburg, what are you doing? Beautiful service into the box, and none other than Ada Hegerberg to make it her 69th Champions League goal, rises up and just skims it into the back of the net. This is what she is so good at. This is why she is so good. And then again, they scored. They kept going. They did not sit back. Wolfsburg, unfortunately, just was not able to handle anything that Lyon brought at them. And even sitting with their 5-back, Lyon was able to be effective and get in behind.
They just kept going. Lyon were relentless, and this was when Renard stepping up, being a part of every single match up against Wolfsburg, and it didn't, but Beerenstein did come back.
Yeah, I mean, Pettemors finds Beerenstein on a really nice through ball. It was nice to see her be able to use her speed, get a little bit of space. Maybe defenders fell asleep a little bit there, but she puts Wolfsburg on the board. 3-1.
I would say Svenja Huth came off the bench and really changed the game, getting that assist, and that was such a key ball for Wolfsburg to get back into the game.
One person who completely changed the whole game was Ada Hegerberg. She had 3 shots, 3 of those on target. She was able to get 2 goals. She's had 3 goals now in her last 2 Champions League appearances. Kelly, you mentioned there she got a 69th goal, which is the most anyone's ever scored in this competition. She was the key tonight for Lyon.
Absolutely. I think with Lyon, although they were the more effective team on the field, they were in control essentially the entire match. But sometimes you're not able to score in the run of play. And having players like Ada Hegerberg who can, in these moments, convert on set pieces, it is so crucial to know that, like, this is a weapon. Our set pieces is a weapon. Ada is a weapon.
I think it's players like Ada Hegerberg, one word for me is just clinical. When you're playing up against a back 5 as a number 9, you're not going to have many shots. I think it was 3 shots, 2 goals is what that stat said. And that is a player who, you know, might not come up against many opportunity, but when they do come, they take it. And if you play for Lyon, Norway, any top team, you will come up against a back 5. That's a regular occurrence, but you have to be able to take your opportunities. And that's what she does. She scores goals.
Yeah. Ali as well, you've played up against her as well. What's she like to come up against as a player? I can imagine it's not the easiest task.
Yeah, she's what I like to call a fox in the box. She is dangerous, she's clinical, she's aggressive, she has a nose for the goal, and I think even if you have 1-2 players on her, when she knows there could be a chance for a rebound or how she gets up in the air. And the issue is here too, if you're going to put extra numbers on her, you're leaving someone else open. So especially with this Lyon team and what they have in the attack, they couldn't really afford to put extra numbers on Ada, so brilliant goals.
I think we have a picture of you two playing up against each other.
Oh yes, I'll say
going at the ref, Ali.
New Zealand,
both of you yelling at the ref.
On a play, or
this is probably when we were backed up in our box, trying to eke out the 1-0 win in the opening game of the 2023 World Cup, and I'll say, we did come out on top in this one.
Oh, good. Lovely.
I was trying to get the game to finish, and she was trying to get more time.
I think we're going to take a look now at Hegerberg's day, because like I said, she was the woman of the match for Lyon. She was such a key player here. Looking at her brace, I mean, this one came from the free kick. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. What I loved about this one was just number 9 instinct, following it in, and I think both goals can say this as well. Watch her using her body, constantly using her arms, leaping up, using almost the other defender.
Yeah, the defenders are there in both of these, but they can't stop her.
She's a heat-seeking missile when she's in the box.
Otherwise known as a fox in the box.
Otherwise known as a fox in the box.
And just alluding, Jen, to the fact of what you said in the pre-match is how Lyon came in and bought so many good players, and Wolfsburg kind of got rid of their key girls. But having players like Hegerberg on your team, who's a vet, who's scored this many goals in the Champions League, knows the tournament so well, it definitely goes in their favour.
A vet, but I think we've been saying people forget how young she is. I think she's only 30. She was the first ever Ballon d'Or winner, the first female to lift that trophy. And I think people forget she spent a lot of time on the sidelines, was out with a big knee injury, if I'm correct. So this is her, I think, coming back to her prime again and really being the goal scorer that everyone knows that she is. But I totally agree. I think a Lyon fully fit team is a really scary team to come up against in this competition specifically. And look, they have made big signings over summer, and it's showing for them.
Yeah, 100%. Lyon are now top of the table, the only team to have won 3 out of 3 so far through match day 3. And the next team we're going to be talking about, though, is Chelsea. They came up against St Polten today, so we're going to be talking about the Blues after this short one. It was goals galore in this Chelsea game for against St Polten. A St Polten side now who have not scored one goal in this competition sit last in comparison to Chelsea, who are sat in second place, have got 2 wins and 1 draw. So, like I said, it was goals galore. We saw 6 goals, all coming from the Blues side. So let's get straight into the highlights. It didn't take Chelsea very long to get their first goal in. It happened in the 13th minute, didn't it, Jem?
It did. And Kat Macario, I feel like, was at the heart of everything tonight. I'm sure we'll get to chat about her later, but this beautiful through ball happened. 13 minutes, you said it yourself. Early, good start for them. Lovely through ball just to break it down. It's Ellie Carpenter doing what she does, cutting it back really beautifully. And it's Vika Kaptein that just slots it away past the keeper. Nice takes it actually really early. Keeper tries to get to it but can't.
And then in the 44th minute, Kat said, you know what, I was playmaking before, but I want to score some goals myself. And if you give Kat Macario this much time and space on the ball, on the top of the box, she will finish so clinically against you. And that is what she did.
Well, we're going to keep talking about her because none other than my girl, Alyssa Thompson, getting taken down in the box. Penalty for Chelsea. And who else? Kat Macario converts from the spot.
They didn't stop there though. 75 minutes. Who's at the heart of it again? Sam Kerr, great to see her back fit. Actually takes this down really well. That first touch, just to bring it down on a really weird angle. Comes off the defender, a little bit of a lucky touch there, but a great finish again from Sam Kerr.
And then unfortunately for St. Polten today, they could not catch a break. Lauren James on the ball, takes a shot, and it's just an unfortunate deflection for St. Polten.
That's not nice.
Honestly, not that it mattered much. It was already 4-0, 5-0, whatever it was, and Chelsea is on the run.
Still more to come. What a great ball by Niamh Charles, love it. And then there she is again, another fox in the box. Sam Kerr heads it in. And 6-0, there we are.
She makes it look too easy.
She does. She truly does.
She's so good.
She makes it look effortless.
Yeah.
That is, it's the one thing is what she does, like what she's able to do, but then how she makes it, like I'm telling you, I've been on her team, I've watched her play, and I'm like, I've been on the field with her and I'm just sitting there like, staring.
Well done.
Flabbergasted. But it's shout out Sam.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you said you defended against Sam Kerr. What was that like, having to go up against her in a World Cup qualifying game?
Not fun. So we played together at Sky Blue in the NWCL. We've played against each other on the international stage and
so you were her teammate and then her rival.
So that was fantastic for me. I said, you know, we have the cheat code on our team, so we're fine. Anything can happen.
No, Sam Kerr for me has always been so good at running the channel. That for me, and especially in a Chelsea team that can play direct. And then we said for her height, she's one of the best headers in the box. And that, our last goal summed it up. She had 3-4 defenders around her, and just in that pocket of space, goal scorer instinct again.
Well, we can take a look at her day. We've got a little pack on her and all the highlights of her game against St. Polten today. What did we see from her today, Ali?
I mean, how good just to see her out there having fun, celebrating. But I just think she knows how to bring a ball down. She knows where the keeper is going to be or isn't going to be. And it's that knack for a finish and the confidence. And like Kelly says, she makes it look so easy. She's not surprised.
I think to have spent a long time out injured as well. You know, she's gradually been building up her minutes, but regardless of how many minutes Sam Kerr gets, she still managed to put the ball in the back of the net almost every single time. She's an incredible. Yeah,
coming back from that injury as well, building her confidence and building that momentum is huge, especially in this game. Let's also talk about Katerina Macario, because she was big for this Chelsea side, Kelly. I'm sure you'll be happy to talk about her.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what I love to see from Kat tonight is that she operates so well in tight spaces. She's able to, you know, in this clip, able to find that perfect through ball, the timing, the weight, you know, the weight of it, everything. And again, this is her goal. Giving her this much time and space on the top of the box, forget about it. Like she is going to score. She is a clinical finisher. And I think that she showed how effective that she can be, again, in systems or in games that the other team is going to park the bus, put numbers behind the ball. She's good operating in tight spaces and is able to help break down those teams.
I think what was really key in those clips as well is her decision making.
Yeah.
Knowing when to release the ball, the weight of pass, and then knowing when to take a shot on when that's on. When you are in space, on the edge of a box, the back line is dropped off, get your head up, her vision to spot the pass, execute it, wait, everything, and then her decision making to go and actually take a shot on and get a goal of herself. Top night from Macari.
Yeah, I mean, 11 shots, 5 of those being on target. Kelly Alley, you girls have got to be proud of her. I mean, you've got the relation with Stanford.
Of course.
Go Card, baby.
We love seeing her be successful back on the field. And I think in this game, especially since maybe someone like Alyssa Thompson didn't have as much room to run the line, that's where Kat's game comes alive because she has so much finesse. She's good in those tight spaces. I was so impressed with her in this game.
100%. And also Naomi Girma getting her first start for Chelsea since July.
Another Stanford girl.
There we go. Really? I didn't know that, actually.
And Alyssa Thompson was going to go to Stanford, but then went professional. So could have, you know?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
You two must be so pleased. Talk to me about Naomi Girma, because it was her first start since July.
Yeah.
She done really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was great to see her, just back on the field. Happy, if you are a fan of soccer, you want to see Naomi Girma on the field.
Full half.
Exactly. Yeah. And so for her to come out, we spoke about it before. This game probably not going to be tested. So a great opportunity to start and just get her feet wet, get back on the field, get the passes in, just get comfortable. And, it's a Champions League match, so there is this heightened pressure.
Yeah, she got to feel it.
But it was I feel like the perfect balance for her to step in.
I feel like when you're 45 minutes is your cap as well, you want to start the game. When you're coming back from injury, you want to start it. You want to feel good. You want to feel warm going into it. I think that was amazing for the manager to give her that opportunity. But I think tonight in general, having seen a lot of players come back from injury, Lauren James as well getting off the bench, this was a huge confidence boost for Chelsea, knowing you've dropped to second in WSL. You were maybe expected to score more goals against FC 20 at the start of this competition. So tonight was big for them to get multiple, to put 6 past St. Polten was huge for the club.
Yeah, 100%. Also as well, they've got Barcelona in their next match day. Chelsea have. So for them to get 6 goals, get that goal difference looking good. They're second at the moment, so they're in a good place going into match day 4. Okay, everybody, we're going to be taking a quick break. We're going to be chatting Real Madrid because they got that last-minute equaliser against Paris FC, which we saw moments ago. So we're going to be chatting about that after this short break. Welcome back, everybody. Now our 12:45 game saw Vålerenga beating Roma. Roma now, they're top of their Italian league, but are 17th, second to last in the Women's Champions League. They haven't been able to win one game. A huge win for Vålerenga, taking them up to 11th. I think one of the most surprising moments we've seen today was the last-minute goal, literally the last kick of the game for Real Madrid. There was 8 minutes of stoppage time leading up to that goal from the Scottish Caroline Weir, which Jen is very happy to see. They were able to get a 1-1 draw, taking on Paris FC. Paris FC were winning the game, for the whole 97 minutes, and then Caroline Weir was able to get that last-minute goal. I think we were all going crazy in the studio. A great draw for Real Madrid.
I definitely was. Scottish Galactica. She's just an incredible footballer. Yeah. And look, we hyped up Linda Caicedo, rightly so. I think she was nearing an assist, but when you need that bit of quality, when you're controlling a lot of the game's possession, a lot of chances, you just need that bit of luck/class from Caroline Weir. I
hyped up Real Madrid so much before. I feel like it wasn't good for them.
Me too. I was with you. We were in that boat together. It was tough.
Yeah, it was tough for them, but Weir stepping up when they needed it the most. I think it just shows that Real Madrid, they didn't give up. No. They were down most of the game, but they didn't give up. They were fighting the last 15 minutes. They were literally sitting inside of Paris FC's 18-yard box, and they were just there. And it took a Hail Mary off a long ball, bad clearance from Paris FC, and Real Madrid made it happen. And I think they were expecting, and we were expecting 3 points from them. They go home with a 1 point. I think it still keeps them in that top tier of this table.
Yeah, 100%. I think if you're Real Madrid, you look back at a match like this where you had to claw back in the waning minutes of the second half just to get the point of with the team. Paris FC played this game defensively very well, mind you. Mm-hmm. They sat in a low block. They were tight. They picked the moments to try to get a goal, which was let's create a scenario where we get a penalty. They did it. They put it away. Real Madrid to be able to have the tenacity to never give up, never say die, I think is something when you have a match like this going against some heavyweights that you have coming up, you're going to look back and that's just going to fuel your energy. It builds a muscle that I think some other teams haven't had to face yet.
I fully agree with you. I don't think this is the first time they're going to be in this position where they're losing 1-0 or 2-0 and they have to come from behind and change the game. We talked about about it before, right? They have Arsenal coming up, Wolfsburg coming up. They're going to be really
big
tough
games.
matches.
Yeah.
So I think this is great for them in preparation for what's coming next, just like you said.
Yeah, and the thing with Real Madrid, they had so many missed chances today. I mean, they could have been 3-4-0 up, but ultimately being able to get that 1 point out of the game, Jen, was really important.
Yeah, I think that will be probably the biggest disappointment. This was unbelievable feat from Caicedo. So unlucky just to not dip before the bar. She's how many players? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 around her. Still manages to get a shot off. But I think this was still credit to Real Madrid. They did create, and I think as long as you're doing that, if that's the one thing you can look back on at a game and say, right, we created so many chances, we just couldn't convert. They went into this game favourites. I think that's credit to them for how they've been playing, the performances they've made. And I still think, okay, they've got a point. They're still in the mix. Exactly what you were saying, Janelli. They're still in a good position. You know, good performances coming into this competition. Created loads of chances. They just couldn't convert. But can they do that against better teams, though? They won't get as many chances. It's about converting them against teams that they are expected to beat now.
Yeah, you could arguably say as well, look, when they come, I think they've got Arsenal and Wolfsburg, I think, in the next couple of match days. It shows, though, that if they are 1-0 down, 2-0 down, like you said, they've got that muscle that maybe, they've made it through qualifiers. I think that's hard enough in itself. They've got that muscle, the fight in them to, if they are down, potentially get them back.
And I think they have now enough quality on the team. They have enough leaders on the team to, transmit that energy that you need to turn it around. So I'm not worried about them.
The hero of the day was arguably Caroline Weir getting that last-minute goal. So here's what she had to say after the game.
Sometimes when you fight until the end, until last minute, you get a reward. And today was the case. An important point, just 1 point, but a very important point today.
Yeah, for sure, an important point. Every game in the Champions League is so competitive, so difficult, and Paris are a really well-organised team. They made it so difficult for us at times. I thought we did play well. I've created a lot of chances, just couldn't score. But like you say, it just shows keep going until the end, and we come out with a point instead of a loss. And in this format, in the Champions League, a point is so important. So we'll take that and move on.
Obviously, a victory could be the ideal result, but 1 point closer to the objective of being the next round.
Yeah, exactly, and we've got to keep going. We have obviously started the Champions League, the first 2 games really well, and tonight was difficult, but it's obviously better than not getting a point. So yeah, we have to review that and look forward to the next game. Obviously, we've got a big weekend, and then we go away to Arsenal, so another big game to prepare for. But it's exciting. I think I'm proud of the team for not giving up and going right until the end. And yeah, we got a reward in the end.
I think what she said there was so true. Like, 1 point is better than nothing. We've got a hard game coming up, but we've just got to keep taking it game by game and be grateful for the point we did get today, Jen.
Yeah, look, what I love about Caroline,
you were smiling the whole
she's
time.
So straight to the point.
She's so positive and chill, optimistic. I love it.
And she leads by example, right? She's not the most vocal person in the dressing room. She's one of the most level-headed players I think I've ever played with. Pitched her to be the next Scotland captain. I hope she gets it. But there's no better person to just stay calm in those moments and not chase a game when you're down 1-0, because you're right, they will come up against that kind of scoreline at some point against better opposition. But they kept going, they kept that mentality, and I know that she's at the forefront of that, just leading by example.
I think as well, going into this match today, we were kind of questioning, have Real Madrid been tested? And even though today you would think Paris FC might not have been a huge test, it proved to be. When they go up against the likes of Arsenal and Wolfsburg in potential match days, that will be the real test.
I mean, they play Barcelona on the weekend as well.
Yes.
That's a massive test. But Paris FC, we have to give them credit. We said in the pre-show, this is the game that's defining for them. Are you going to show up and defend for 90 minutes? They did for 90.
Yeah.
Not in the additional time, sadly, for them. But it just shows that Real Madrid are able to have the perseverance, have the tenacity as a team to come out and do it. And if you look at, even their missed chances watching it, we were all like, oh my God, they were incredible. The 1v1, the combination play, the individual brilliance, the artistry, that should give them so much confidence going forward when you look back and know you just missed that final end product, just the shot, just that last pass. It should fuel that for them moving forward.
Yeah, and it was clear that they were the better team today. I think for them, they have to, again, I'm not worried because they're creating chances. Like we just said, they're Feller's on her game, Caicedo, Weir, they're all playing, I think, at the top of their game. But defensively, I think it was Engeldahl who conceded that penalty kick. You have to be smarter. Defensively, it's where am I standing? Where am I in the box? Do I need to foul here? If the players, their back is to goal and they're not dangerous or they're not a threat, just stand them up. There's no need for me to give up a penalty kick. So I think if they can fix that, they're going to be put in a better position going forward.
I also think as well, like we said, we saw Paris FC kind of sit low towards the end, really trying to keep that 1-0, and it just proves you can't be doing that in the Champions League because ultimately you'll be punished.
When you play big teams, we saw it even today with Chelsea. I love what you guys were saying. You have players that can play in the pockets, that can 1v1 go against 4 or 5 people and break you down. You still have to be bold and play out somehow. You can't just sit low and just hope that you block enough shots, because one of those is eventually going to go in, and we got it today.
Definitely a huge draw for Real Madrid. They sit in 3rd place now in the table. Okay, everyone, we're going to be taking a short break. We're going to be revisiting the Lyon-Wolfsburg game, because what a heck of a game that was. We're going to be chatting about that one next. Welcome back, everybody. A huge win for Lyon taking on Wolfsburg. They won 3-1. We spoke earlier on in the pre-match about how important this midfield would be for Lyon today in their game against Wolfsburg. They proved to be the key pillars on the pitch. So why don't we take a look at some of their highlights and just to see how important this midfield was for this Lyon side. Darren, walk us through all these girls that we're seeing in the middle of the pitch.
Well, it's their rotations that are just so lethal. I mean, you have Schrader up here getting a shot off of the crossbar once again. Everybody stepping up. I mean, she was on her front foot, but she was playing the 6. And then Lindsay Heap stepping up. I mean, vintage. Kelly, you were so impressed with this, and Hegerberg putting it away. But they're incredibly dynamic. Everyone has their strengths. The way that they have chemistry, build off of each other, send balls forward. It dictates how this team plays. Everyone has to respect the midfield before they even respect the front line, and it makes it so difficult to play against, and they are just absolutely dominating Wolfsburg and this entire Champions League run so far.
Yeah, I agree. I think that what impresses me about Lyon's midfield 3 is their interchange.
Yes.
Able, like you said, Schrader's in the box, receiving the ball, getting shots off. And that just unbalances teams. The ability to be fluid in your movement just allows that freedom, and also the question mark that your opponent is like, where's the player?
Where do I stop?
Like you're just constantly second guessing, constantly have to have a head on a swivel, and they kind of ran around Wolfsburg because of it.
Yeah, we saw Heap, Schrader and Domone play in today's game. Ali, what did you make of their performance? Do you think this is maybe the ideal midfield that we'll see out of this Lyon side?
I think after watching today, it probably is, but obviously...
It could be anyone.
It really could. It's champagne problems here. But, of course, we want to see Lyonnes get even more time. She came on, did well, especially when I thought Wolfsburg started to be a little bit more aggressive.
But not for 90 minutes. And I think if you're playing with 2 other midfields and a Heaps and a Dumolnet who go and be free and shoot and be creative, you need somebody that's going to go in and step, especially against a Wolfsburg midfield. So I feel that that's why maybe Schrader got the nod today. Lily gets to sit back and, hey, if you want to learn from a midfield, this is who you want to learn from.
And will it be more of a case of maybe we'll be seeing Johannes come in off the bench in a few more games, Kelly? Is that what's ideal for her?
Yeah, again, I think that it depends on what the coach wants for the day.
Or the opponent.
They don't have an issue, right? They don't have an issue of, okay, if we start this person, it's going to bring the level down so far. Like that's not the issue. I think right now it's really for Lyon. Okay, where and who makes our midfield the most effective? And I think that right now it is Schrader, Heaps, and Dumolnet.
100%.
I think that, like you said, Schrader, Johannes, I think that you could change out potentially, or Lindsay might need, a couple minutes off. She's not going to want to, but the fact of the matter is, like, the number of games that have to be played throughout the season for the team to be successful, both in their domestic league and in Champions League, you have to balance that. So I think that Lily also could come in for Lindsay and be super effective in that role. So I think that she's young. She has so much potential.
She's got time.
If I was her, I would just be learning as much as possible, just taking every opportunity, not worrying, am I starting, am I not? That shouldn't even be part of her.
Yeah, you play for Lyon.
Exactly, in her consideration.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And she is.
For sure.
I think she is. And from everything she said, she's having the time of her life.
Yeah, and Lyon are at the top of the table, so it's going pretty well for them. Okay, everyone, after this short break, we're going to be taking a look at tomorrow's matches. We're also going to be talking a bit about Mary Earp, so stay tuned. We're going to be talking all of that fun stuff after this short break. A reminder, everyone, the Women's Champions League reaches the halfway point tomorrow. Barcelona, Manchester United plus Bayern against Arsenal, all in action. Now, you can catch every game live on Paramount Plus. Our coverage begins tomorrow at noon Eastern. But tomorrow, PSG goalkeeper Mary Earps plays against Manchester United for the first time since leaving her old club in 2024. She made 102 appearances for Manchester United, 274 club appearances. She's played for England 53 times, won the Euros in 2022 and became runner-up in the 2023 Women's World Cup. Now, in her return comes in the midst of some controversy surrounding her new autobiography, All In. Here is what the Manchester United head coach Mark Skinner had to say about Mary Earps and her return.
And look, I'm aware. I don't read I've not read the book. I don't know anything about it. I'm hearing snippets. Of course, I am. I'm always one of those. You have to be careful what you say. But Mary believes in it, so if that's her truth, she has to speak it. But I think from our perspective, we'll welcome her as somebody that is on the opponent's team in this game, but also always pay tribute to what she's done while she was at Manchester United. So I know Mary's a good person, so I look forward to the challenge of trying to beat her and her team on this Wednesday night, but that's all I can say on it, really.
Let's talk about the headlines surrounding Mary Earps and not just her return, but also what's been said in her latest autobiography, Jen. What kind of impact do you think that will have on her when she makes the return back to Manchester United, based on what she's been saying?
Honestly, not a big impact, if I'm totally honest. I don't know Mary personally, but we've obviously crossed paths and played against each other. I know it's been a lot for her, and I think she'll still be welcomed massively back to Manchester. What she did for the club, that amount of appearances, what she achieved at the time she was there, I would hope that the noise surrounding, doesn't impact the game. We all want it to be about the football, and so does she. And to be honest, I think it's an opportunity for her to catch up with old teammates in that sense and actually check in if she's okay, because there's been a lot of negativity, some that I don't think she would have expected with the book coming out, because there was a lot of other things in the book that were way more positive than the comments that came out and were highlighted. So no, I think she'll want this to be about the football. I think everyone will be wanting that to be the same. And I kind of like what Mark Skinner had to say about it, that she will, he knows she's a great person and she wouldn't have, anticipated this amount of backlash, and, he'll look forward to beating her in terms of football. And I massively respected that.
Yeah, that's what the head coach was alluding to. Don't you agree, Kelly?
Yeah, actually, I think the next headline should be Mark Skinner, I don't read. That's because in the beginning of that clip, he said, I don't read, and then was like, I didn't read the book. Sorry not to make light of a
that's the next headline.
Serious situation, but I do think that's the next headline. I'm also in the same boat as Mark Skinner. I have not read the book. I've seen some of the headlines, and again, they're headlines. They're attention grabbing. They're wanting to cause a stir, and ultimately, I think Mary Earps wrote an autobiography, and she said her experience, and that's what autobiographies are for. So
yeah, I think. And you read the book, haven't you?
I did. Yeah. I did read the book.
Oh yeah, you did. What did you make of it?
What did you make of it then?
I listened to the book, read the book. So you don't read either. All right, Kelly.
Kelly, I don't think you read either, by the sounds of it.
I do, actually.
Well, you didn't read the book.
Wow. No, I did listen to the book, and I think it's very easy to judge somebody from the outside without knowing what's really going on. I think at least what I've seen, like the controversy that I've seen on social media, I don't know if people are looking at the whole picture. So I think for her, it's a bit unfair to be judged. And also as a female soccer player, I feel like we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. Like it's a very difficult position to be in. But at the end of the day, it's her perspective. It's her story. She's not imposing this truth on anybody. It's just simply her truth. And she had the courage to stand up and write a story, talk about her life, to be vulnerable. There are very few people in this world that have that courage. So I give her props for that.
The controversies between her and Hannah Hampton and the goalkeeping situation at England, along with Wiegman as well. Do you think she had in her mind, look, me writing this could get twisted by social media, by the press?
Do you not think she was aware of that?
I think so. I think it comes with the job.
But then why would you write that? If you know it's...
How else are people going to know these stories? How else are people going to know what's going on behind the scenes in the growth of women's soccer? I think it's... like I said, right, we're in a position where we're not just professional soccer players. You become a public figure. People look at you as a role model, and for good or bad. So I think you know that. You know that there's going to be controversy. You know that there's going to be criticism, good and bad, and you prepare for it. And I want to say she knew what she was getting herself into.
Well, I might not read, but I also, and neither does Janelli, I also don't write, but Janelli does.
Mm-hmm. You're writing a new book.
I do.
Speaking of somebody who knows about what, if you're going to write a book, you shared with us.
I did, yeah. I'm in the process of launching a book as well, memoir, autobiography. The book's already written. It's been a very difficult process, and this is why I said what I said a few minutes ago about having the courage to put yourself in a vulnerable position to speak your truth, to talk about things that people really, they have no idea go on behind the scenes. People think it's just 90 minutes of a football game and that's it, but they don't understand that there's a human being behind those 90 minutes on the pitch. But I mean, I'm excited to share with you all once I'm ready for that. But again, I'm going to say it again, Mary Earps, props to you for having the courage to write this. And if you're out there commenting on this without actually seeing the whole picture, I think it's fair to read the book. Read the book before you read the whole.
Read it or listen to it.
Read it or listen to it. Listen to the book while you're running, which Kelly doesn't do.
Which I can't do. Doing a lot of reveals of what we can and cannot do here.
I just think there's a big element of I totally get what everyone's saying. It's your truth. It's your story. It's did she anticipate it or did she not? I think that's hard because, no one knows her personally, and whether you predict that or not, we're never going to know. I think we can only speak from our own experience, and mine was, I think I've said this on other podcasts and other networks, that I came through experiences in teams that nothing gets in and nothing gets out. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that is why it's a little bit of a surprise, especially from a current player. Yeah. I think that's why it's heightened. She's still playing club football. Yes, she's retired from Lionesses, but Hannah Hampton is still number one for England and still current Chelsea player. I think that's why it's a lot of books we see is retired. You're retired.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with you.
So that's why,
I think as well.
For me, that's why it's heightened.
As well as we speak about it in the men's game quite a bit. If there's drama, keep it in the dressing room. I don't understand why we then air it.
Well, a lot of they do after they've retired.
Yeah, after they've retired, but she's still playing. She's going to Manchester United tomorrow.
Anyway, we should all go and read.
We need 10 more segments on this.
Well, maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow with Manchester United when she's back.
Tune in.
When she's back at Manchester United against PSG. Okay, everyone. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to our Women's Champions League coverage today. We had a crazy day. We saw so many goals. We saw a great USA midfield. But join us tomorrow. We're going to be back at noon. We're going to be looking at the second half of match day 3 of the Women's Champions League. Hopefully we'll be seeing more golazzos just like that one there. We'll see you later, everyone. Have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.